Today, we're going to talk about the number one, really the only thing you need to know for success of your haircuts, your hair color, and anything you do behind the chair.
Be strong.
You may be wondering, come on, there's a lot more behind the chair than one thing. But I have to tell you, after training dozens and dozens and dozens of hairstylists, this is the number one concept that people just don't take from beauty school. And it has to do with the head shape, okay? And what am I talking about that? I'm talking about the parietal ridge. And I know, we learned that in beauty school. Denise, what's the parietal ridge? Why is this relevant? So why don't we just take that out of our vocabulary for right now? Just pretend like it doesn't exist. What does that mean? It means the round of the head. Everybody's head shape is different, right? Everyone's head shape is different. You cannot cut the same haircut using a haircut guide on everybody's head and expect it to come out the same way. It just won't work. What you need to do is know the head shape. And the very first thing I teach is find the round of the head. And why is this important? Let me just show you real quick. What am I talking about, the round of the head? First, we're going to just part the back from the front, okay? Just so we get all this hair out of the way, just so I can show you a little bit more clearly what I'm talking about. Okay, so we've got this front section on this little girl. To find the round of the head, what you're going to do is you're going to put the comb right on the side of their head, okay? Everybody's head shape is different. When I place this comb on my head, the comb's going to react differently than when I place it on her head or your head, right? So wherever that comb raises up from the head, see that? I don't know if you can see it. Okay, wherever that comb raises up from the head, that is that head shape on that person where their curve starts, okay? So if I'm placing my finger right there because that's where it bounced up. If I were to part that, okay, that is the round of the head. Okay, let's put that there. See that? See that? Right where it comes up, okay? If I did that on my head, it would come up at a different location. Do it to your head. Put your comb right next to your head. Okay, why is this important? And why is this important on every person who sits down in your chair? Well, first of all, it finds the round of the head, meaning that if you had fine hair, all of this hair that lives down here, you would not layer, okay, on fine hair, because then you would not have a strong line for your haircut, okay? Big important. On color surfaces, this round of the head, this is where you want your hair, the sun would naturally lighten your hair. So from this curve up, you kind of want it to be a little bit lighter so it looks natural and believable, right? Down here would be a little bit darker. The only thing I would say to that is if you're doing face framing and you're wanting this little section to be lighter, but for the sake of this, let's just, in our minds, lighter above, darker below, okay? Haircuts on a pixie. This is where you're really close around the ears, and then when you get to this line, you start building the length on top. Men's haircuts, holy cow, men's haircuts, clipper cuts. This is where that shift changes. You can even put your finger there and use your clipper, and then you won't have that little line, you know, if you come up too high. This is your line. This is your safety line, the curve of the head. You use your clippers, come up to that line and come off. Come up to that line, come off. Same with hair cutting. If you were doing scissor over comb, come up to that line, come off. Does that make sense? Oh my gosh, the shape of the head. And like I said, everybody's going to be different. Let's take this one step further, okay? This is the front part of the haircut, right? What about the back? What do you do with all this hair? Okay, this is an easy one. I'm going to section this in 2 sections for the back, just like we would, like a mohawk section, okay? So, my doll. So just like we just sectioned it in the back, right? So where do you find, how does this connect? You know, when they say to part the hair, find all the sections, okay? What you want to do for the back, to find this section of the back of the head, you want to find the O bone, the occipital bone. I call it O bone, okay? And it's right where, if you feel on your head, it's that little bone in the back. Now, not everybody has one, okay? So don't be surprised, don't be shocked if you're cutting someone's hair and you're feeling and they don't have an O bone and you're like, I don't know what to do. Here's how you would find where the curve of their head is. Put your comb at the base of their neck, press it to their scalp, and right where that comes off, right, just like the side of the head, that's where their O bone would be, okay? So you might have to fake it and make it, okay? So O bone's right here, curve of the head's right here. So you're just going to connect the dots. Remember that magic trick in my video on how to always part? Just real simple. It's magic. You place your thumb, place your finger where you want your comb to go, and it'll magically go there. If you haven't watched that video, I highly suggest go look for it. I will try to link it in the notes, and I might even put it in the video. So I just did this to the O bone, right? This to the O bone, right there, right there. So now we have all of this. This would be, again, in fine hair, this would be that strength of your haircut. You would not want to layer any of this. Or on a men's haircut, this would be where you would clipper. You can hold your, I always teach, hold your finger right there. So that way you know when you take the clippers in, you're not going to go up higher and create. Have you ever seen those haircuts that you could tell people have gone up too high and then it creates this divot and it comes back up, or it pokes up like this? You don't want that, unless they want that. If you would put your finger there, you'd clipper cut, clipper cut, clipper cut. See what I'm saying here? If you were doing highlights, maybe a partial highlight, guess what? You don't highlight down here. Or maybe they're just a solid color. Well, maybe you do a darker color underneath and a lighter color on top. Or you do vivid colors. You do one color down here and another color on top. Do you see where I'm going with this? This sections the head from the bottom to the top. This is so imperative that you get this from the get-go. This has saved me in every single situation. Every single person who sat down in my chair, I would do this today if I was cutting hair behind the chair. I would still use my comb and find the round of their head, because everybody's different. And hey, guess what? What if they ask me, what are you doing? Because that is a real thing. You're afraid, ooh, if I do these things, if I use clips, if I do this, they're going to think I'm brand new out of school. Who cares? You might be brand new out of school. But guess what? It makes it so you do your job right? I would never attempt a haircut without using clips to get the hair out of my way. And when I first started, I really did think that if I used clips to get the hair out of the way, people would think I was a beginner. Isn't that sad what we do to ourselves? But even to this day, 30 years into it, I would still do this, and I would want them to ask me, what are you doing? Oh, and maybe I would even just tell them, I'm doing this because I'm finding the round of your head. What? I didn't know there was so much into hair design. That's what they're thinking. They thought you just picked up the hair and cut it. Nope, there's geometry, there's all kinds of angles, there's head shape, all those things, right? Have you ever thought of that? Well, I hope this has helped you. Really think about it. Think about every single person who sits down in your chair. Think about it. Find the round of the head. Find the O bone. Connect the dots. It'll make you a better hairstylist. I guarantee it. Until next time.